Hello everyone, and today we are going to destroy computer with a new puzzle. So let's start from the scanning right away. And But this position, I mean, we can't start without evaluation because we at least we need to know the material to understand which is our target. So and king safety, basically, this king is relatively safe because there is no light square bishop, and so all the light squares are mm, very, 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 very easy to move the king to on the light squares. It's quite safe. And also, I cannot say the white king can be targeted. Mm, maybe potentially, but the knight is the best defender. If you see the knight close to the king, uh, to try to eliminate it because basically it's uh, almost impossible to checkmate if there is a knight close to the king. So and Yeah, the king is overprotected by the bishop, by the queen, by the rook, by the knight. This attack never can be successful. Like basically, it's never be dogmatic. There is some 1% of success, but the knight is the best defender. All these pieces are protecting the king. I evaluate king safety, like absolutely safe king for the white. Yeah, material we down a horse for the 2 pawns, but our pawns are blockaded, and yeah, and this is distant pass pawn, so it's not really 2 pawns. It's like we clearly down a horse. Yes, it's not these 2 pawns do nothing. It's not 2 pawns. These pawns are useless. This one called O, and this one is just a beast. This one worth 2.5 pounds. Like this distant pass pawn is 2.5 pounds. So we're clearly losing the game here. It's hopeless position if we evaluate this material and the king safety. So what are but our queen are better. Like our queen is clearly better. Our queen is attacking. And the control central square centralized. He's defending and a little bit cramped. Yeah, the rook, our rook is better, is attacking, his rook is defending, and our bishop is also has at least 3 potential targets, and if we somehow push king to the dark squares, it can be just devastating piece. So our pieces are all better. Our king is still much more safer. And let's see another targets like rook, queen, bishop are targets. This one seems overprotected. D5 pawn is target, H4 pawn. But potential target, we need to notice it. But because if we eliminate H4 pawn, this is quite a good game for us because this is main weapon of the white's army. If we just eliminate it, it's king is not really safe, so it's unqueen. So let's we evaluated pieces activity and we evaluated material. But by the way, there is for those of you who old school chess, yes, there is the pattern. First we evaluate pieces activity, and after that we calculate material. And now notice in this puzzle, I first calculated material and then evaluated pieces activity after king safety. And this is absolutely normal, never be dogmatic. To understand this position, it's simpler to start with the material, because what the hell is going on? We need to understand it. Okay, so here is also some pins. I notice this hangs, maybe some disconnection. Maybe we can get some position where we play with the bishop against rook. Yeah, I already start to think, but okay. Let's scan the position. So we need to notice, of course, this file, rook and the queen on this file. So back rank is weak, tactical weakness. Potentially G3 can hang after rook e2, potential hanging piece. d5 pawn is hanging pawn. So back rank main weaknesses b2 maybe it may be tactical weakness. We always can attack it with the bishop, c1 square maybe. Tactical weakness, all the squares around the king, which are overprotected, but king is not the target. We'll watch more about this file to attack the queen. And this a little bit, this piece is a little bit awkward. Yeah, so basically these ideas and something like this idea. So all files, we notice all open files. We notice all the not open files, like all the kind of lifts. We also notice because back rank is weak. We need to see all the ways to attack back rank here, and this way through the pawn. Also check it, because sometimes we take this pawn with the rook and infiltrate here. Also, this is weakness. We need to see positional weakness. We need to see all the ways to attack d5 pawn. Is first to show we don't see e5 square, because this is a bit, there is this bishop, yeah, and we don't see rook e5. But also there is these types of ideas, maneuvers, or sometimes we decoy the bishop and come back, like something like rook e3, b to rook e5, yeah. Decoy the bishop and come back and attack this weakness also. What else? Yeah, so this is weakness, this is weakness, this is potential weakness. d5 pawn is weak. We need to check all the ways to attack. Sometimes maybe there is some trade, yes, and rook can attack from here. So you always notice these subtle details, because when you play chess, you will see it effortlessly in the future. Rook c5, let's say sacrifice, maybe there is something like that. Also, this pawn and pass pawn, and this is kind of, I had a bunch of puzzles about optical illusion. Yes, like this pawn, like pawns on the first in initial position, it looks like so far from winning. Yes, but it's just 5 moves. It's just 5 moves. Yeah, it's optical illusion. Sometimes it's optical illusion. It seems like, oh, I have opponent has advanced pawn like here, and this pawn is too far. Yes, but there is some tricks, a little blockade, and it's still 2, and this is just 5. And with some tricks, this pawn can beat this pawn even if it's advanced pawn. It's this is important because I noticed this pattern. I didn't see it many times. Like I did not, well, like we misevaluate pawns on initial positions. Like it cannot do anything. It can just promote to the queen just in 5 moves, and 1 move with a tempo if we play f4, and f3 with the tempo is like f5 is okay, but f4 attack the bishop, f3 attack the knight, f2 already some threats. Yeah, and it's actually not 5 now, because 2 with the tempo is 3. And if you just solve this puzzle, you will never even think about it. Yes, this is something thinkable. It looks for you, if you're not familiar with what you're doing, like a wasting time, but this is not wasting time. This is truly where you can yeah, beat almost anyone, because this is very cool details. Okay, so we notice this diagonal weak, and our target is basically queen, rook, maybe bishop, and d5, h4, maybe some case a4. We can also create advanced pawn here, like this one, positionally. So this bishop has access to many diagonals. Also, it can attack and defend, blockade pawn if needs. This rook, yeah, this rook wants to attack create multiple threads here, and also threads here, and also threads here, threads here. Also maybe no, not I don't think from that side. Rook e3 is good, but drawback doesn't allow b3 because b3 is also good, targeting d5 pawn directly. Of course, I want to take with the rook, but if I can play b3 and take queen d5, why not? And Masada king and king. If king move on the dark square, it's already very dangerous. So the candidate's ideas is this and this. What could we miss with this cannon? This diagonal is potentially good. Queen can maybe I missed queen also can attack from the first round. Like yeah, I could miss the idea. Not only rook can attack from the first rank, of course, if we can move rook to the first rank, it's devastating, but also queen can attack from the first rank. And sometimes the rook still does a job here from this side, while queen attacking there. Because it's not that, okay, there are ways to bring the rook on the first rank, but there is also ways to bring the queen on the first rank, which is also in some cases I mean, you always want to be multi-strategical. I will repeat it over and over zillions of times. Yeah, you always want to be able to infiltrate with the rook. You always want to be able to infiltrate with the queen and maybe with the bishop, or create advanced pawn quickly like this, boom, and you simply win the game. Like if you add the pawn to the attack, this pawn, by the way, can also push away the main defender, like e2 horse after f3, and it can become just devastating. So b3 clearly supports the pawn to move forward. Rook e3 clearly supports to play this, but rook on f3 blockades the pawn dynamic potential. And maybe I'm totally wrong with this pawn, but that's what I trained myself to notice, because basically we don't see this pawn, like optical illusion, as I said from the beginning. And the patterns which I did not see, which I missed, I trained myself to notice more and more. That's what I recommend you to. If you notice you have multiple optical illusion, you don't see this pawn have huge potential. You need to train yourself to notice it more and more till it will become your automatic second nature. Okay. And today I give myself time limits, 15 minutes. And after that, I just take intuitive decisions. How would I play in real game? I won't calculate this puzzle till then, because it will take, may take a lot of time. Okay, 15 minutes. And I started my timer. Maybe I will find a way to use it on the screen, but 15 minutes. And okay, my candidate idea is rook e3, b3 first, and some combinations with 24 maybe. Yeah, but rook e3 and b3 quite forcing. Let me calculate both of them simultaneously. When you calculate, I remind you again, you don't think anything. You can ask yourself some questions, but then you don't pronounce, don't verbalize moves in your head. Just see moves. It will speed up process at least 5 times, sometimes 10 times. Yeah, the funny variation, which I first actually asked myself, what is defensive idea after bd3, and I want to notice like this variation after king c2. This is hanging horse now, and look, an initial position is overprotected by 3 pieces, but after just 1 or 2 moves, it's becoming hanging piece. Like one of the cool things. My question is, after BH3, I don't see very clear defense. I will take this pawn, and I have three pawns, and I continue to attack. And after rook b3, I think rook b3 is the best option, and I want to eliminate one of them. Like if rook e3, rook b3 doesn't work well, a b queen b3 queen c2 queen d5, and then run away with the king. But this pawn is very dangerous. Yes, like yeah, black has a lot of pawns, but this pawn is very dangerous, and probably with king safety and this pawn moving forward, it has to be drawn at least for white. So these five pawns are not better than this one, maybe, but I'm not sure. So my job is to eliminate one of the options because I have limited time, b3 or rook e3. After rook e3, I assume rook b3 is quite clear defense. So I prefer to focus b3 with limited time. And if I cannot eliminate b3 very clearly, I have to move. Maybe I missed something on the surface also, like queen g4, queen e4 checks first. But I have limited time. I have to take practical decisions. But b3, she has these nasty ideas with rook c4, rook b2 counter-attacking my queen. And if I move somewhere, he has queen d3 defending critical d5 pawn, and I blockade d3 square with my bishop. But I probably have queen e4. Ah, no, if rook b4, I don't have queen e4. And then she wants to play queen d3. Maybe that's the idea. Maybe, but I'm not sure, of course. Yeah, queen c5, queen d3, that's right, it's queen b5 already, and this is becoming messy. So rook b3, rook b4. If I don't have clear tactics to win, I should not play it. Queen c5 is too passive, and queen d3, I don't have threats. And he has. Ah, before hangs. Oh, before hangs. Okay, then before hanging piece now. After before. After each move, yes, with and queen e1 looks ugly. d5 hangs. Ah, b3 will be 4.5. Rook c2. Then I have queen e4. Still attacking this pawn. Yeah, and this one ugly. I take this pawn, and this pressure is horrible. So also queen b4, queen c3, but I take d5, and this c2, maybe something safety. But horse hangs. I have some options with hanging piece here, like yeah, multiple tactical options. What else? So can I play? Can I just play b3 like we are playing in real game? Rook e3, I don't like it. Like I don't like it because of rook b3, and I don't like descending. Maybe there is some ways to continue, but I don't have all the time in the universe. b3, I assume rook c2, the most effective, the most active defense queen e4, and it seems okay, but counterattack queen d5. Yeah, I have dynamic potential with this pawn. It looks okay. Yeah. Yeah, I cannot eliminate BH quickly. I will check timer, and basically I need to move pieces faster. Yeah, I have 6 minutes, but I will play BH already. He plays Queen C3, which you can't expect it, but now E2 is hanging horse. There is also Queen E2, Rook E2, what am I smoking? I thought takes and this, but it doesn't work. Also, this one is possible. B1, Rook E1, and Rook C2, Rook E3. 93. Yeah, defendable. Okay. But basically, Queen D5 is my initial idea, which is strong. Maybe Rook G2? Doesn't look right. Takes, Queen F3, everything pinned here. I have dynamic potential with this pawn. And I don't see how he's going to unpin. Yeah, it looks very, very bad for white. My candidate's idea is Queen C3, okay, quickly eliminated it, BD4, Rook C2, Rook E3, 92, okay. Queen D5 is the most obvious and the most looking logical move, Queen E4, Queen E4. Also, but this pawn is important, it holds, but this positional very, very important. I have dynamic potential to move pawns forward. Also, BD4 is potential. Takes King C2, maybe. Or Rook D2. Rook D2 is horrible. But now I have time to attack C5. Something like that. Yeah, and I have put this one hangs, this also idea, this hangs. It looks horrible. It looks horrible. Yeah, it looks just winning up to 35. Okay, with limited time, I will take for sure. What's his idea? I can play Rook F4. Excuse my language. This one, now this file is with BT4 is also commonly two hanging horse. This one is also issue. Also, it supports the 5 F4 quickly. And it's just 3 pawns already, right? Yeah, it's already 3 pawns for the horse and yeah. So candidates moves this, all the ways to play with the bishop. Check all the most impossible moves first. To train yourself to see everything. BC5 is just logical, put pressure on the horse. But Rook E4 is also just nice, like he cannot move like Rook C4 is a threat. And it's even more pressure. Yeah. And also F5 just crazily push this pawn forward. Also very unpleasant idea. And maybe 23. What's his defensive idea? What's his main trick? With before defended here? Rook B4, yeah. Maybe he holds after Rook B4. A2 hangs. 23. Uh-huh. No, I can come back 25. It's it too. And it's not clear. Yeah, I have 4 pawns, but this pawn is dangerous. Again. Uh-huh. Can I win simple? Rook E4 before Queen E2, King G3. Am I missing something simple? Queen E6. no. F5, no. D5, no. Rook B4, Queen B4, no. Queen D5, Queen C2. And rook back, in rook back. It has to be winning. It has to be winning. With all these pawns moving forward and this rook also create threats, I just don't trade rook's position. Takes, and back. Okay. Options BC5. How he defends the horse. How he will defend the horse. King B1 maybe. Rook E3 disgusting. And it's horrible position. This hands, Queen E4 is coming. Oh, timer is over. Yeah, now it's kind of you see three square. Like this is Karpov's pattern. Like if you remember, probably you not. I showed the position which no one gave me the answer when and asked the question which piece Karpov saw on C4 square, and the answer was which, yeah, like in similar disposition, which piece you see on E3 square, one of them, like B E3, and come back and now see that here the rook, and it's probably just winning. BC5, threatening rook E2, threatening rook E3. What is his defensive idea? Queen D3. Yeah, removing Queen D3 maybe. I don't see clear win. Maybe Queen H5 hit the horse more. But it looks already not. No, wait. Oops, I almost moved the piece. Queen G2 is also very unpleasant. Queen F5 some counterplay, which I don't want to allow. But King D8, it's not counterplay. Just move the king. Yes, two horses hanging. Like, let me think for a while. I have to move. The time is over. Yeah, BC5, Queen D2, Queen G2, threatening this. King D2, and I have Rook E2 and Queen G3, which is practically horrible to play for white. And also I have Rook E3, which is also practically horrible to play, but I don't know what computer does. Like these pawns is, I mean, for human, it's just winning for black. BC5 and Rook E4, and both are seems winning. How to choose quickly, intuitively, which is I need to eliminate one of them and play another one. Rook E4, Rook B4. We need to King D3, Queen D5, King C2. Rook E8, let's say. Maybe not that clear. I cannot say for sure because this pawn is still dangerous. If he trades the queens, or yeah, if he trades the queens, no, I'm not sure it's winning. I cannot say it's winning for sure. BC5. Yeah, I create threat. Everything hangs. He cannot play something like King B1. There's multiple ideas. Rook E2, Rook E3 of both threats. Queen D3 looks on the logical move, but then this and this. And Queen F5 does nothing, King D8. E2 still hangs. Queen F6 does nothing, King C8. Queen F5 does nothing. I just move King to the safe zone and it's winning. Okay, I play BC5 and it's wrong. Okay. Yeah, computer said I'm wrong, but I decided to try it with the limited time. Oh, both are defendable. Yeah. F5, F4, just winning. BC5. There is multiple options here, but it would be nice if it's F5. It's just the dream puzzle. So no. Yeah. So I want to make it faster. Yes, like yeah. So which is next candidate book? 24, 24 types of ideas, 25, 24, 24, 24 types of ideas, queen of five, rook e4. Ah, this one is nasty. Yeah, and she cannot defend with knight c1 because rook c4, c1 hangs. No. But the queen f3, queen f3 seems also winning. No. Everything seems winning. Same queen h5, no. Okay, I'm guessing, but I just want to make it faster. But it's not fast puzzle. If in case I need to eliminate rook f4, all these moves which are just nice is bf2 maybe. Rook f2, king c1. What is the clear win for h5 one? Yeah, and this is from the scanner we initially could understand. More threats after bf2, g3 also hanging this. No, even this is not very. Oh my gosh, and all of them seems winning. The crazy point. All of them looks like winning. What am I missing? I even don't see candidate now. I even missed the candidate now. Oh, this diagonal. Oh, 7 at some point. I hit here. Maybe I missed. I mean, this is scanning, by the way. Yeah, this is scanning pieces on one diagonal. Yeah, maybe I miss. I can fianchet cheated the bishop here. Maybe also this and this one is under attack now. Pressure this diagonal. Pressure this diagonal. Yeah. Uh-huh. But I mean, to find this, I basically need to eliminate obvious winning moves, and yeah, I have to calculate this puzzle for the an hour, I think, to or two to spot bh6 with multiple ideas. Hmm. Yeah, and now queen d3, he just can trade and play rook e3. Now king d2, rook g3. And king c2, rook e2. Yes, and blockade is pawns and not. So he had this is just hopeless, yeah. Like queen d3 doesn't work. Knight d4, bg7. Also drawback at least. Knight f4 cannot work. Also, everything hangs in bad with b4, queen f4, queen f4 at least. Knight c1 looks horrible, and rook e3 is yeah, it's just winning absolutely. But by the way, the same as anything else. Yeah, he suggests to play queen d3 and oh, he suggests this one. It's not over actually. King c4. And now we start to attack the king with all these pawns. With the idea to checkmate it in the middle of the board. Not that simple. Still, not that simple comparing to, yeah. Oh, for computers, everything is better for white, for black here. bh6 is only clearly winning move. Rook f4. Black is better, but it has only way to defend the position with disgusting 23 knight c3, which I missed. But it still looks horrible. Like it looks really horrible. bd4 is possible and it holds. Yeah, it looks very horrible. I mean, it's absolutely normal not to solve the puzzle like this. But bh6, very nice idea, very nice position idea. And another candidate move worse will be c5, like back and forth. Queen d3, and I thought of the queen g2, which is horrible. But he says king b1, and all these ideas looked just so bad. And it just says like, ah, Yeah, if I move rook, now he has checks. Engine says it's foldable. Like this one, knight c1 is idea. Yeah. Yeah, it's not 15 minutes puzzle. Yeah, if my goal were just train intuitive decision making, I mean, I practically bc5 and practically all of these moves are good. So rook e3 were not correct is because of, oh wait, which is the initial position, h4 b3. Yeah, rook e3 I thought is also block is just bad. Yeah, like it's just playable, joyful position for block. 24, what he does, rook c3, his idea. Mhm. What did I want? What did I think? I thought about rook b3. I was thinking about this, and I didn't think it's winning. Yeah, I didn't think it's winning. This pawn is very, very dangerous, very nasty. Yeah, but the computer also sees this. b3, I like. I kind of like it. He played queen c3, and here is 25, king c2, and b6, by the way, just beast move, like noticing this diagonal. Yeah, it's much better than bc5 positional. It's much better. Yeah, yeah, it's simply much better than bc5. Like, yeah, I'm targeting this diagonal, and I am targeting rook e3. It's just positional better move. It's not about precise calculation and elimination everything. Rook e4, yes, okay. I agree, is good move. But bc5 by the process of comparison is bad. And by the way, I said all the impossible moves, but I didn't notice simplicity. Like bh6 is just just very simple. Like, and always bg7 now if queen moves from this diagonal, or just decoy the queen. Nice one. Boom. Hey, just positional move. Like, yeah. bc5 is not attacking c1. So there is no interferences with not knight c1. Queen d3, and yeah, but there is also quite a safe possibility, which is practically what I most likely would play. I wouldn't move here if I don't see very clear win. Yeah, queen c6 and don't allow trade and play the game with all these ideas. This one in d4, in d4 rook g3, nice one. In c4, c6 with idea, d5, in d4 again the same. And some checkmate patterns, yeah. Rook g3 also d2, rook g3, b2 at very least. But what does he want? This, bg7 is idea. Why didn't he play bg7, takes, rook e3, rook e2? Because this pawn is very dangerous. This one, by the way, very risky. Why? This, and this. It's very, very practical with nasty line because this pawn is just very dangerous. I understand black can sacrifice the rook for the pawn, and all this pawn will just win the game, but we never know what can happen. We never know. It's very, 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 very dangerous lines. Like, that's not what I want. Not what I want to play. But basically, yeah, the idea is to even assume this. Oh, and this is already like d2 clearly winning. Yes, h7, rook e1. Yeah, which is not that clear. I don't want to allow him to win. But if I start to push for this, yes, things are changing already. Rook c1 with precise rook c1. Don't allow c4, d2, rook d1. Like, it's crazy. Boom. Don't allow the pawn move forward. And this is absolutely natural move with the idea h8. Yeah, idea is absolutely natural. Why is it not winning? Like, hello, like I want to just win the game in very simple human way. Yeah, rook d1 c3. I have two advanced pawns. Why not? Yeah, and I play queen c6 c2. So looks absolutely winning, and there is this nasty trick with rook c1, which is nearly anyone can miss, guys. Nearly anyone. That's why from this position I already um, I already have feeling like we should not even move in this position. We shouldn't even move in this position if you can avoid it. Like yeah, like rook e4, king e3, b5, b5, of course. Like hello, I always can give up my bishop or this pawn, and it's uh less tricks. Yeah, less like I will move my pawns forwards, and it's just winning. And if something I can blockade, and if at the end of the day I can sacrifice the bishop or the rook, depend on the situation. Like sometimes bishop controlling these squares would be better than the rook. Sometimes rook would be better than the bishop, but just give you more candidates ideas. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got some useful points. And yeah, and if you want to train seriously and get the best benefits from your training, so feel free to contact me. Understand the effort is never equal. Like if you put 10 years of effort, like imagine if you put 10 years of the right effort, like you train in proper way, like you scan the positions, you evaluate it, you have right mindset, you know what is your targets. Yes, you know how to go to these targets. I mean, it's not equal. Like you can simply play your puzzle racers, yes, and for the 10 years, for the 20 years, 30, 40 years, I mean, different will be just insane. Like from one subtle pattern can change your life, but for me, you can copy thousands of patterns. And imagine now uh, you have wrong pattern, yes, and you train it for the 20 years. But basically you can come learn, copy it, and train it in the right way for the 20 years. I mean, the difference is insane. You cannot even we cannot even imagine how much you can get from the coaching and how much you actually losing from the coaching from not getting coaching is just ridiculous. And yeah, and if you don't have money, it's absolutely normal not to hire a coach. It's just normal. Money is more important than coaching, and but many people still use coaching even if they don't have money. Many people succeed by this way, but it's normal. It's okay. It's okayable, yeah. But it's absolutely crazy if you have money and don't hire a coach. Sorry, but you are an idiot, you know. Okay, my price is $30 per hour till September, and from the September $50 per hour. Hire me not to fuck up your life and your chest. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye bye, Saksapai from Cambodia. Stop share. Yeah.